have this ongoing conversation with this guy on Facebook, proclaiming to be an atheist. So, of course, I am trying to get him to understand that, first of all, he is trying to measure water and steel using the same measuring standard, which you shouldn't do, because one is a liquid and one is a solid. Liquid you measure with pounds and cubic inches and those kind of things, while solids or steel you measure with yards and inches and miles and meters and that kind of stuff. Most importantly, I'm saying to him that there's the one question that science cannot answer, which is what happened to you when you die. Because science deals with tangible things you can feel and touch, and things that appeal to the senses, etc. That's science. And so science can't measure what happened after your spirit leave your body. Science can only say that, that body is not moving anymore, it's not walking, talking, doing anything, and that's the end of science. As I said to that young man, that when I die in hope that I'm going to go meet Jesus, the Jesus that has created all this controversy, scientific minded people and haters and all these people have fought and killed and disparaged and talked bad about folks that believe in him. When I die, I have that hope that I'm going to meet him, and that my life is going on to bigger and better things. With the scientists, the atheists, and all them so-called kind of people, I asked that dude, what happened if you're lying on your sick bed and you're breathing your last? What happens? If you don't have hope, I'm dying in hope. I want to know, what is he dying in? So the science ends when we die. The Bible is clear about that. I also, mentioned to the young man that science is ever changing. Because science is a pursuit of learning, and what you learn today equip you to learn more tomorrow. That is science. So it's always changing. There's always more to learn in science. It was a great discovery when they discovered the atom. And since then, they've been discovered, all these molecular structure of the atom and this and that, whatever. They're still studying, still learning. But the Bible has remained the same for 2,000 years. John 3:16 has not changed in 2,000 years. And again, I'm saying that to say that everything else changes, but the Word of God remained the same, because God remained the same. God hasn't stopped being the creator of the natural universe. Birds and bees and trees and flowers and mountains and rivers and fish and humans and all that stuff. God hasn't stop being that. God has been the same, just like his word is the same. You know, I also want to say, you know, to that young man and all atheists, that you're traveling down a dangerous road. You see, because, you know, and they're doing this, I think, just ignorantly. They are so absorbed with their so-called intelligence, because I can understand the scientific stuff. Then that means I am super somebody. I'm super intelligent. I'm super smart. And I'm trying to get them to understand that science is a religion of selfishness, while the Bible is all about selflessness in a love your neighbor as yourself kind of way. Yeah, science is, science and atheism in particular, it don't preach, it doesn't teach, it doesn't encourage, it's not supporting neighborliness. And science is about things. Science is impersonal, impartial, without feeling. But the Word of God, the Bible, is all about personal relationships and feelings and love and all of that. You see, that's the big mistake that these people make. You know, and in their arrogance and their false sense of self-righteousness and worth and all of that stuff, they miss the fact that the Bible is about relationships between people and between people and their God. That's what it's about. It's about relationship. And so science may come and change and go on its merry way, but and as a matter of fact, the science might not affect everybody, but people still need and always will need to know how to relate to one another and how to relate to God the Creator. See, that's the difference. Science is about things and itself, while the Word of God is about people. You see, there are people living in this world without science. A whole bunch of folks living in the world without, benefiting from, all these psychological or scientific discovery, cell phones and tablets and Fox News and CNN and social media and all that stuff. There are millions of people, billions of people in the world that are living without the benefit or benefits of those things. But you can't live without knowing how to relate to other folks. That's the difference between science and the Bible. You see, it's these people who don't understand one or the other that are always in conflict. You see? But there's no conflict between science and the Bible. Because the Bible said in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Science has not proven that this is not so. Science stops at Big Bang and evolution and all this other stuff. They stop there. You know, they come up with their thing about, oh, the earth is zillions and trillions of years old. They can't prove this, because that measure depends on a man-made piece of equipment to measure. So if I'm creating the equipment, I can set whatever standard that I want to set to prove my point. But the bottom line is, nobody today was there at the beginning. We don't know. So the Bible's rendition or the Bible's record of what took place is just as strong as anything science can come up with. And the Bible don't get into all this detail and proof and experiments and all this stuff. You know, God just say what he says, and it's just there. You can take it or leave it. You know, and that's what I was trying to, you know, say to that young man, that, look, again, you're trying to use one measure to measure liquid and solid, and you can't. That's not even scientific. You know, my background is in engineering, so I know some science. You can't use the same measure to measure everything. You know? Yeah, science has to do with tangible things that the senses can pick up. Feely, touchy things. You see, science has to do with those things. While the Bible has to do with faith. Religion has to do with faith. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. See, so it's it's kind of like the opposite of all of that. We're dealing with one is dealing with tangible things, and one is dealing with spiritual things. Things you can't see or you can't perceive with the senses. See, so that's another mistake that they're making. They're sitting up saying, well, you know, yeah, something is wrong if I can't see it. And no, nothing is wrong. I can't see my heart right now, but I know I got a heart. You know, from what the scientists have told me, that thing beating in my chest is a heart. I don't have a problem with that. Do we debate that? Do we, you know? No, there's no debate. There's no conflict with science and, you know, true science and the Bible. There's no conflict. The conflict is in people and their understanding and their motive and, you know, all of that. The Bible said that the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. That's what we need to be concerned with. When people start to say there is no God. That same Bible addresses it. He said the fool, Psalms 53:1, it's a fool that say in his heart there is no God. Bless up my peeps.